I'm doing a no-buy challenge for all of 2025, and my rules are simple but extensive. And I've done no-buys in the past, usually for like a month or 3 months at a time. So this is the longest no-buy I'll have ever done, and it does strike fear into my heart, which is how I know that it's my time. If I was indifferent to it or uninterested or trying to justify not doing it, then it wouldn't be my time to do a full year no-buy. But no, I'm afraid of it and a little excited. I have 12 rules, and here's what they are. So number 1 is no new clothing, period. Clothing and accessories are my main problem spending areas, so those are the two I'm focusing on the most. And I don't have any exceptions for clothing. There's nothing I can think of, any events coming up that I could possibly need to buy a new outfit for. I can make do with what I've got in the closet. I have plenty that I need. So we're just gonna stick with no new clothing, and this includes going to thrift stores. Like if I am spending money on a clothing item, it's not for me. I'm not doing trade-ins, I'm not doing sell clothing to buy clothing, I'm not doing that. Just no new clothing. Number 2, no new shoes, unless I wear out a pair I already own to the point of needing to be replaced. I have a couple of athletic shoes where I can conceive of a reality where those do need to be replaced, and I'm fine with that. I don't have any qualms with it. I see it coming, that's fine. Number 3, no trying new makeup or skincare unless my own personal dermatologist that I see every like 3 to 5 months tells me that I need to do something different with my skincare routine. Maybe I need to replace something, that's fine. If she tells me I need to try something new, then I'll try something new. But other than that, I'm going to be able to replace the products that I use up, but I'm not going to be trying new things on my own. I'm not going to be seeing viral skincare, viral makeup, and then giving it my own try. I'm not doing that. We're gonna stick to what we know. And I feel like what I have right now is good. Like there's no holes in my routine where I look at that and I go, oh, I wish I had, you know, like a better foundation, or I wish I had a XYZ. It's all, I'm fine with it. We can let that be. Number 4, no using credit cards for regular daily spending instead I will use digital cash envelopes for Cube Money to force mindful spending and budget transparency. Okay, so Cube Money, let me grab it. Cube Money is a digital cash envelopes app. It's a budgeting app that is not like a bank itself, but it partners with banks so that your money and everything is safe. So this is my Cube Money debit card. This debit card currently has $0 on it. If I want money to be on this card, then I have to go into my Cube Money app and select the category that I want to spend money from. Whatever category I select, that balance will be loaded onto this card, and if I try to spend more than that, it'll say no. There are no overdrafts, nothing like that. So it's great functionality, it promotes mindful spending, and honestly, it's like the path of least resistance for me when it comes to just mindful budgeting in general. It's like my favorite budgeting app right now. So that's what I'll be using. And then number 5, I get $85 per week for food. This can pay for any combination of food items, whether it's takeout or groceries. Like I said before, I don't really have an issue with spending money on food. I do need one of two things though. I need a spending limit or I need specific criteria. So if I didn't say $85 for food per week, then I would need a different rule that said like grocery store once, takeout 3 times max. You know what I mean? Like I'd need different maximums, but for me, I think just having $85 for food, perfectly fine. If you can get takeout with $85 a week for food, great. If you're like, that's only groceries, okay, then that's only groceries. So that's how it works for me. Number 6, I am allowed to use my food budget to replace general hygiene products. These products are only allowed to be purchased once I have run out of what I already have. If I try something new and don't like it, I'm allowed to try something else, but the money for the rebuy will come from my discretionary fund if I'm unable to return the original item. So like if I run out of shampoo and conditioner, I don't have a shampoo and conditioner that I love. Those are the things I'm most likely to switch up, and they're kind of like low pressure. So if I try a new shampoo and I go, wow, this is awful and I hate it, I can try something else. But if I can't return my original shampoo item that I bought, then I have to use my like discretionary fund money. Number 7, I get $65 per week for transportation. This includes the cost of gas for my car or public transportation. So wherever I'm at and whatever I'm doing, I get $65 for transportation for that week. Number 8, I can earn up to $50 per week for discretionary spending. This will be called my discretionary fund. This money will be earned through completing tasks or activities throughout the week. The discretionary fund, I can't use that money to buy like the no buy items. So I can't use that money to buy clothing, shoes. I need to close this door. I forgot that it was open. Okay. Hopefully that's better now. The discretionary fund money can't be used to buy. It's not like shopping money. It's not like, oh, I can go to the mall now and spend $50. Ordinarily, if I wasn't doing a no buy, then that is what that money would be for. But outside of that, it's for anything else. So like if I want to go out with friends, discretionary money. If I want to go out to eat, if I want to buy a ticket to go see a movie, if I want to save up and buy a Disney Day ticket, like that's fine. Like that discretionary money, that could be for whatever I want it to be. Oftentimes the discretionary fund ends up being just like, I don't know, I want it to accumulate more. Usually I spend that pretty immediately, but I would like to build up the discretionary fund money. I can move this into other checking accounts if I want. So if I have like this discretionary fund category and I go, actually, I want to set that aside for gifting for loved ones. I want to spend that on someone else. Okay, well, let's move that into the savings goal of gifting. Let's move it into the emergency fund for this thing. So then I can pull from that whenever I need to spend money on stuff that I didn't really expect to, or maybe I did and I just set it aside. So essentially the discretionary money is fair game. I can do whatever I want with that money, no matter where I've moved it to, unless I put it into long-term savings, because then it'll get really gray. So we're just gonna keep it in cube money, and that will be good enough. Number 9, if I overspend on food or transportation, the discretionary fund will be my backup money. If I have no discretionary money to fall back on, I will either need to go without or ask someone to loan me the money. This is intentionally horrible sounding. Like you hear, okay, well, if you go over budget, then you're gonna spend someone else's money when you have money in savings. Yeah, it's way worse to have to ask someone else for money. It is way more psychologically upsetting to have to ask someone for a loan. That's kind of the point, so that it puts a little more pressure on me to stay under budget, to stay on my budget, because I don't want to ask someone to borrow money. And you know, there are people that I'm more comfortable asking than not, but it still like sucks to ask. I'm not interested in doing that. So if you're someone who doesn't feel shame at asking people to like lend you money, then that rule probably won't work for you. But if your initial reaction was like to crawl within yourself, that's the point. Number 10, no matter how much money is left in my food, transportation, or shopping categories, I will still receive the $85 for food, $65 for transportation, and max of $50 for discretionary every single week. That's because I don't want to just like fill up to $85. So if I have $20 left, then I add $65 for food. I want that money to stack and I want it to roll over if I'm under budget. I used to do a thing where I tried like moving the money that I didn't spend into savings. Oh, I hated that. It made it feel like a punishment. And you might think, well, savings isn't a punishment. Like savings is the whole point, isn't it? Yeah, but it feels like a punishment. It feels like, well, I should have spent that money when I had the chance. Because inevitably, the next week, like let's say you don't spend $20 of your $85 food budget, so then you start the following week with $105 instead of $85. Well, okay, next week is maybe gonna be a more expensive week. Maybe we really did need that $20 next week instead of last week. So because spending fluctuates, because some weeks are more expensive than others, we want to keep the money in there. We want to keep the money in there. We just want to add it on top. And that way, at the end of the day, the hope is that it all kind of nets out. So that's what that means. Whatever is not spent will just stay there. It'll just stay there. We won't do anything with it. Although sometimes I do accumulate more money than expected within transportation, within food, and I want to move it. So here's a rule for that. Number 11, once a month, I am allowed to move up to 60% of what is remaining in food and or transportation to other money categories if I want to. Again, I'm not allowing myself to take all of the money that's left over because that always bites me in the butt, but I can move up to 60% of what is already in there. Good enough for me. Number 12, I am not allowed to declutter, aka get rid of shoes or clothing, because if I'm doing a no-buy for an entire year, it's far more high stakes to like get rid of something and then find out that you needed it like 7 months later. That's the thing, it's not like a no-buy for 1 month, so if I get rid of something and I go, oh no, I need that like a month later, okay, well I'm not doing a no-buy in a month, so I can replace it if I need to. If you're doing a no-buy year and you get rid of stuff, oh man, not great, not great. So I'm allowed to move stuff out of my space. So if I go to my closet and I say, okay, well, I want to reorganize the closet, I don't want to see any of this. Okay, well, let's move that to somewhere else in the house. We're not getting rid of it. We're not donating it. We're not selling it. We're not doing anything with it. We're just simply moving it to another location. We're moving it out of our way. But if I need to get those clothing again, if I need to consult the pile, I can. That's the point. I want to use what I have, and if I need something, I will just shop my storage. So that's that. Now I do have a couple of exceptions, and I think having exceptions if you're doing a shopping ban, no buy, whatever, if it's at least a month long, I think if you're doing it for a week, you don't need an exceptions list, like let's be for real. But for a month, 3 months, longer than that, an exceptions list is super helpful. I would argue even necessary. Number 1, items that are hygiene/health related may be replaced when necessary. This is like underwear, okay? Need I say more? Number 2, for me, there are 2 possible life events that may happen this year that would warrant the rules being suspended slash adjusted. I'm not gonna tell you what they are until they happen. There are set things though. I'm not saying like, oh, well, I can decide that I have up to 2 life events. No, there are 2 things that are likely to happen, but not for sure going to happen. And if those things happen, then it will 100% make sense to rearrange things. Yeah, just, you know what, we're just gonna have trust here. Number 3, necessary expenses will be covered by funds not listed on this no buy rule list, aka setting aside money and savings for these things. So this is like travel, vacations and stuff that I'm saving for that like outside of this. So I have sinking funds that I am saving up for specific things for. So I don't know, the dollar has a job. That's the short story. The dollar has a job and it's in a savings account, and period. Pre-planned experiences like Disneyland ticket, parking, and color analysis will be covered by their already existing sinking funds. So these are just things that in 2024 I knew I was going to do in 2025. So I will be doing those things, and I am setting money aside for those things. And if I had the money to do it, then I could still, like, it's not part of the no buy to not do experiences like that, but I have pre-set aside money for it, I guess is the point. We've already got it taken care of, so I'm just calling them out. And that's it. That's the end of my exceptions list. The one thing I kind of want to put on here, but I don't know if it's like kind of cheating, is if I ruin something like a clothing item that I love, if it gets ruined, then I can replace it. Because I have had in the past, like my favorite pair of cargo pants, I left a neon sticky note in the pocket and it totally ruined them. And I was really upset about it, and I wore those cargo pants all the time. It was like an outfit staple. So I think I'm not going to put it on this list because I have so much clothes that I should be able to figure out, like no matter what I've ruined, not to speak that into existence, but no matter what I ruin, I feel like it's okay. I already have something that can take its place. But that is something that I feel the urge to put on this list, but I'm not going to. That about sums it up. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and especially if you already saw a semblance of this video on another social media platform. I appreciate you being here, and I will be posting updates.